I wanted to do a video on humility because I think that in this day and age where everyone's got social media platforms, where it's all about putting their best foot forward, making themselves feel and look as good as possible to others, often humility can be understated or almost looked down upon. And there's a lot of fake humility out there as well these days, where people are, again, on their social media, they make themselves look very charitable, or the classic sort of meme of like someone giving money to a homeless person, and as soon as the video stops, they give it back, take it back from them. But humility is a really important trait, especially for soldiers, or for anyone who's looking to get to an elite level. Elite athletes know that in order to get there, they need a team around them, and it's not a single person's effort, but it's very much a team effort. And elite soldiers also know that a war or battle can't be won on their own. It's not like the movies where you see sort of Achilles take on 10,000 men on his own. To be successful in operations, you need a team around you. You need that humility. Um, People in leadership need humility, and also those who are following also need humility to listen and to obey orders. As a young Royal Marine going through recruit training, I had an incredible privilege to. I had a mentor who was serving in the SBS at the time. Went to the same church as me. I met him through my local church, and I was really struggling as a young recruit. I was in about week 3 or 4, and I was just struggling with the whole thing. I was only a young lad going through Limpston, and the admin and the map reading and all that stuff was piling on top of me. My fitness was really good, but that was about as far as my abilities went. And I had like I said, I had a mentor who was currently serving at Poole at the time. Had done 10 years in the Royal Marines. Had I think it went on to do about five or 6 years in the SBS. And he used to spend a lot of time with me on the weekends. So bearing in mind, I'm lowest of the low. I'm a little nod, a little Limpston recruit, and he's the highest of the high operator down at Poole. He used to come home on weekends, spend a lot of time with me, take me out to cafes, invest in me, encourage me, strengthen me. He'd even get a map out once or twice and show me a bit of map reading. He'd give me loads of tips and advice and stuff like that. And then later on through training, as I had more time off, he'd let me stay at his house, and stuff like that. And just a really good guy, someone I really needed as a young man and as a young recruit. And he showed me really what it was to be humble. Here this guy was who was an operator, a tier one special forces, creme de la creme, and he was taking a lot of time out to invest in me as a young man. And I'll always remember that. And he's one of very few people I can trust with everything. I can share anything with him, and I know that I can trust him. Also, yeah, just trust him with everything. Um, and so he taught me humility because, you know, he didn't have to spend that time with me. He didn't have to spend his weekends with me, encouraging me, building me up. But he did, and he helped me get through Royal Marines training and go on to be a good soldier. And I think without someone like that, I would have really struggled. And so having that mentor and having that humility in my life taught me a lot. And now that I'm in a position where I'm a lot older, I've done my time in the military, and I'm now mentoring young men. I always look back to that. I always try and go the extra mile for lads, or spend that extra time with them, um, because I had it and I know how important it is. And so I guess this message is to two people, one of two people. Number one, to mentors, to people with experience, to people who people do look up to. Like, what are you doing with that skill? Are you making yourself look better and bigger and growing a big following and this puffing yourself up, or are you spending time with people who are sort of following a similar path you've been on? Are you investing in them? And also to those who need a mentor or are in a position that I found myself in, are you looking for a mentor? Are you looking to older men or older women have sort of trodden the route that you want to go to? And are you seeking that advice and that wisdom? It might be your dad, it might be your mum, it might be an uncle, it might be a Royal Marine that you know from down the pub or whatever it is. But are you seeking out that wisdom? Because I think that that can be easily lost, and I think that young men do need to seek it out as well. So a lesson in humility. Humility is not a weakness; it's a strength. It shows strength of character. It shows depth of character. And I've again had out in Afghanistan. I met a U.S. Navy captain who was acting as a colonel for the USMC out there, third highest rank in Afghanistan. And I met him at the chaplaincy in over at Camp Leatherneck while we were doing acclimatization training for Afghanistan. And again, he spent a lot of time with me, invested a lot of time. He was the third highest rank in Afghan at the time, and I was just a Marine. He used to write to me on the front line, strengthen, encourage me, send stuff out for me and the lads. And then after that, I went out and stayed with him at a ranch out in America, and he ended up coming over to England and marrying me and my wife. And him and his wife Camille are a real sort of parents to us. And again, so much humility. You know, I was the lowest rank in Afghanistan. He was the third highest, and yet he spent that time investing in me. So I really do know what it's like to have these solid, strong men be humble enough to spend time with, little old me. So I love to try and do that as well. So humility is massive, and I think that there's a real difference between sort of self-confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is detestable to me, and I think you can spot it a mile off. If you know anything about emotional intelligence and you've worked with people, you can smell arrogance a mile off. Whereas self-confidence brought in with humility is a wonderful thing, and it shows real strength of a person. So I just wanted to share that message of encouragement to you guys, to seek out those men and women who've gone before you, and also to those who are in a position where you can share with the younger generations, not to withhold that, but actually share back that knowledge that you have. Cheers, guys.